The time is nearly upon us. First week of October is coming up fast, and we know what's going to be happening then. We are looking to swing failure the lows and have some degree of a nice reversal, right? Trap some bears. So I did take a long position down here. I believe this was during the live stream. Said I was going to take a position here. And this was going to be my first take profit, about 19,300. And then I laddered into some shorts here. We had this nice rising wedge, to which, obviously played out very nicely. So I'm positioned with some longs from here and some shorts from here. And ultimately, I did take profit on my shorts. If price were to, come back up here and do something like this again, I would probably ladder into more shorts. If it were to go higher to that 2,200 area, which is also 2 untapped dailies in this zone, be another area I would look to ladder into shorts if we were to get that move up, say next week. Being that it's Friday, I'm actually not really looking to enter new trades because typically we consolidate over the weekend. But yeah, just kind of 2 zones I'm sort of looking at if we were to get some degree of a move up. And then until the first week of October, every time price comes down into this zone, I am going to ladder into longs, and I'm going to ride them up to at least this trend line. Okay. At least this trend line, if not back up to this, 19,300 area, right? And the reason I'm doing that is because my analysis suggests that we're not going to see new lows until the first week of October. So in knowing that, every time that we come down here, I can feel safe knowing that we're not going to, let's say, I'll clear some of this out. I feel safe knowing that if I put my stop loss below here, I'm safe to long anything that comes down here until the first week of October. And then at that point, I'm going to let my shorts do the talking and then look for some longs, down in this zone here. What would be truly ideal for me, because like I said, I'm looking at that. Let's see here. So this would be anywhere in here for me would be really, really, really nice, because then we would have confluence with this untapped daily. Not quite this one, but untapped daily. Very, very old daily, right, that we front ran here, as well as this high time frame trend line, okay, that we've been sort of consolidating under for some time, which suggests that we could break through it. And we have, if we take a look here, between here and here, we do have some bullish divergence on a daily time frame. So what I would really, really like to see is, here we are today, Saturday, Sunday, consolidate into next week, get a move up to this zone, and then consolidate under and ultimately drop into that first week of October, hit this low, and then, oops, my hand slipped there. To go like this, and then to sort of do something like that, right? So that would be ideal. Like, that would be really, really, really nice to see us break out of this wedge, retest this one, retest this trend line, then to flip this one to support, and then break out, right? To me, that would be really, really nice, because that would mean that this has been tested 1, 2, 3. It would give us our 3rd test, which means, typically on the 4th, you can look for something of a break. So that would be a really nice very clean setup for that swing failure. So like I said, in the meantime, when we come down here, I will long it. You know, if we do come down to this like NPOC, which is tapped, so technically it's not a naked point of control anymore, but I'm keeping it as reference because it's a really clean level. If price does come down to that area, I will happily long it. If, you know, given the circumstances, right, I do want to see at least some degree of a setup and, you know, maybe negative funding rates, but support is holding kind of a thing, and then I'll look to long it, or maybe take some position here. But I'm already in longs and shorts, so I am hedged either way. So I would love to see that. More so what I would focus on is taking a short position, because we know that first week of October we're going to take out the low. So any pump, maybe off of this bullish divergence that we talked about, if we continue pumping upwards next week and we get up to this zone, this, you know, 20,000 area, this would, in my opinion, provide a really nice short opportunity. If we came up here, I would start laddering into shorts, and I would ride it all the way down here and use it to hedge the long I would take here. Okay, because this is ultimately, this swing failure play is really high risk. We do want to see the long setup, because if it's incorrect, price just goes like this. Okay, so we do not try to knife catch. We do not long as price falls down. What we do is we wait for it to round out, create a bottom, and look for market structure change for a long position. Okay, so I really like this. I have been trading it, like I said, both sides. You know, ultimately what we've been talking about for a really long time, months, is just weeks away. So I'm very excited. I'm excited to share it with you guys every step of the way. We'll take a look at ES1. ES1 is just doing exactly what we talked about last time. Let's clear out our charts here. You know what, let's do a small walkthrough, because this has been really fun. We had our harmonic here, right? Came into resistance, shorted down to here, the bottom of the channel, which was also the one-to-one extension of the harmonic. Took up the position upwards to the midline. We broke up here, okay, and we were becoming to test the channel, and I had said I would expect us to rotate to the bottom of the channel again, unless we were to hold this daily level of support, because we can see here it was a clear resistance. If we were to back test it and hold it support, we could possibly break through. What happened? We did just that. We found support on the daily almost to the dollar, pumped upwards, and I had said that this weekly level, which was support, resistance, would act as resistance once again, unless we were to find a push above. Then I would look to this untapped daily level here, which we can see was a key resistance zone, as our next area, and we did exactly that. We rejected from there, came down, had another opportunity to short here, and as we've been here, I've talked about how we've been consolidating above this channel here, and that if we were to break in, back test it like we did here, gain acceptance, that it's likely that we would then rotate to the bottom of the range. And so that's ultimately, that's where we are, right? We're back in the channel. We can look to the midline as our first area of support, and then from there possibly slightly lower. And I talked about how, you know, this zone for me is ultimately the next area of major support. We can see the pre-COVID highs here, right? Okay, we're ultimately revisiting that zone, right? So right around 3,400, in my opinion, especially with this nice consolidation we put in here, would be a really nice area of support, right? And it also coincides with the bottom of our channel here. So we'll just have to sort of wait and see, you know, how price maybe comes down here, finds support, possibly gets to move back up, and, you know, maybe does something like this before then breaking out, right? So it's something worth keeping in mind. I do expect ES1 to go lower. Okay. What I find very interesting about this is ES1 is having a really, you know, pretty aggressive dump. Here's its low here, so we are pretty close to the lows. BTC, again, very close to its lows, but we're not seeing that aggressive dump, right? We're not, it's much slower, it's much more controlled, And I like this. This is a signal to me that maybe that swing failure really is on the table for that October, first week of October, right? I mean, you can just see here, see this versus, you know, this. It's so much more, you know, it's so much more aggressive. We've had 4 consecutive days down, and we haven't seen that with BTC. So that is a really nice thing. Taking a look at DXY, look at this. I mean, look at this fractal we drew here. It's just, I mean, spot on, right? Totally spot on. So we had a little bit of consolidation below this untapped daily at 111. Okay, from a very long time ago. We had a little bit of consolidation back there, back tested the 110 daily, and are now having continuation upwards towards a pivot target of 113 that we talked about for some time. So when we do reach this area, I do expect some degree of a move down like this. I think that this will give us our swing failure. As you can see, I have it set to happen on the first week of October. So this move here will give us our swing failure on BTC, where we take out the low, you know, 16,800, 17,000, that kind of an area, right? And then we're going to have a really nice reversal up on BTC as DXY has a retracement. And when it does its final leg going into December to top out at about 116, we have that yearly level there. We'll pull that up. We have the yearly level here, right? Around 116, maybe 115 daily, yearly level. Ultimately, this zone looking at sometime in December. When price does come up here, I sort of expect BTC to not take out its previous low, but, you know, maybe do. So we get this move up as DXY has its retracement, and then when it hits, you know, that 115, 116 area, I would sort of expect it to maybe come back down like this, you know, trap some more bears, and then have continuation as DXY ultimately finds its, you know, finds its low, right? Or its high, I'm sorry.